Hey everyone, I just finished my first fragrance week and I got a ton of fragrances that I want to go through with you guys. I just posted a recap of everything I did during the fragrance week, and if you haven't seen that video, you can go back and watch the video right before this one. There were 3 incredible events, and all the events, by the way, were at Fennec Newcastle. They really did an incredible job bringing all the best bits of the fragrance week events to Newcastle. So the first event was with Olivier Cresp, and we went through the fragrances that he has created, his iconic ones, as well as for his own brand AKRO. He is launching a new fragrance for AKRO called Breathe, and I have that with me as well. We'll go through it later. And the second event was with David Benedek, the founder of BDK Parfum. So that was also another incredible event, very intimate and cozy event where we got to learn about how he founded BDK Parfum and what he was doing before that. And the final event was with Alberto Marias, and we spoke about his brand Mizensir, obviously, and there was also a masterclass on how he created some of his iconic fragrances such as CK1, Gucci Bloom, and of course Acqua di Gio as well. And I got to know from Veronique, his daughter, who was there at the event, that they will be launching a new fragrance this year under Mizensir, and it is an ylang ylang based tropical fragrance. So I'm super excited for that as well. David Benedek of BDK Parfum also shared some insights, and I think the fragrance is already announced now. It's launching later this month. It is called Impadia. He described it as a floral gourmand, and it's going to be a fragrance around rose. So I'm super excited for that as well. So let's go through some of the fragrances that I have acquired during fragrance week and outside of fragrance week as well, but it's close by, so I want to go through all of them together. First, let's talk about the fragrances that I acquired just outside the fragrance week, and the first one is Thameen Peregrina. Thameen is a UK-based brand but founded by a Saudi national, Basil Al-Badr, and Thameen in Arabic means precious, which is why all their fragrances are named after really famous precious jewels or gemstones, and even the bottle looks like a sapphire. It's beautiful. So Peregrina is a very beautiful rose, ambery, powdery fragrance. It is done in such a beautiful way that I just had to have this in my collection. And mind you, I am not a rose person, but recently I've been giving rose fragrances a try because I realized that I've been searching for a specific type of rose that takes me back to the childhood, the rose, the smell that I remember growing up. That's the specific rose I keep looking for. But then, you have to realize that there are different types of rose and they smell, all of them smell different. So every time I pick up a rose fragrance, I keep looking for that rose scent that I remember growing up, and I don't get it. And if I don't get it, I'm disappointed. I don't like the fragrance. Now I realize that rose is such a versatile note, and it can be done in 1,000 different ways, and some of them are really, really gorgeously done. Like this one, Peregrina, is a beautiful, deep, jammy, sweet gourmand rose, and obviously it has rose, gardenia, lily of the valley. It also has some powdery nuances. It has amber, it has caramel. It is a super addictive rose fragrance, and I'm super happy to have this in my collection. The next fragrance is Ambre Royale by Ormonde. I recently had the privilege to meet Linda Pilkington, the founder of Ormonde, and this fragrance is actually a gift from the brand, from that event. Linda is so generous and so kind in person, and she had asked me to pick my favorite fragrance from the brand so they can gift it to us and also engrave something on it. And I chose Ambre Royale. I bought Levant before I met Linda, and I absolutely fell in love with that fragrance. And when I bought the Levant, the sales advisor added some samples, and Ambre Royale was actually a sample. When I smelled it for the first time, I instantly knew I needed to have it in my collection. So I asked for the Ambre Royale, and the brand so generously sent it to me, and I engraved it with my son's name, Guy, over here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. So I wanted to engrave Kai's name, and then Linda said, why don't you add the year 2025 so that every year you get him something engraved and he would have a fragrance for every year. And that was so special, so I decided, like, you know, that's a brilliant idea. Hopefully he grows up to be someone who enjoys fragrances. So this is the first of many to come for Kai, and Ambre Royale is such a special fragrance to start with, and what an incredible backstory that I have to share with him as well when he grows up. So this is Ormonde's new bottle. It has 8 facets on the cap as well as on the bottle, and this is 88 milliliter. This is the new design. Linda's lucky number is 8, and that represents, you know, prosperity, eternity. And Ambre Royale is done in the typical Ormonde manner, and the reason why I love this brand so much is because I think I'm entering more like a clean girl era, and Ormonde just does it best. All the fragrances in Ormonde are very understated, very refined, very classy. They take an ingredient or a note and they just make it very crisp and bright and beautiful. Ambre Royale is amber done in such a unique and different way, the Ormonde way. It has ambroxan, it also has orris butter, it has a bit of rose oil and orchid oil as well. So Ambre Royale to me is super enchanting, super mystical. The first time I smelled it, I said, you know, it reminds me of a fragrance that maybe Rumi might wear, and I'm currently reading 40 Rules of Love. Maybe that's why that connection was made in my head. Every time I smell a fragrance from Ormonde, I just imagine a woman wearing a very crisp white high quality shirt and blue jeans. That's the image I get from smelling any Ormonde fragrance. So happy to have this in my collection, and beautiful fragrance. Let's get to the good stuff. This is AKRO, and I have 2 fragrances here with me. I have this one, which is their latest launch, and I'll get into it in a second. And I also have Bake. This one I bought with my own money because I needed to have it. And this one is a new one that the brand gifted. This is personalized by Olivier himself. I mean, incredible. I still can't believe it. So we have here their brand new launch called Breathe, and as you can tell, I've been using this. I mean, I've already opened it. I've already been using this fragrance for a couple of days now, and I love it so much. So there we go. This is Breathe, and AKRO is a word from the French word which means addiction. They have figurative ideas about certain moments in life which brings happy memories or an addiction. For example, having your cup of coffee in the morning. So they have something called Awake to remember that moment. And they have ink for the first time you get tattoos, because tattoos can be quite addictive as well. I know I have a few of them. Now Breathe is a fragrance for the addiction of outdoors and nature, and they have captured it so freaking well. It's insane. Breathe opens up with lavender and bergamot, yes, and the heart note is a very, what is it, like atmospheric, aqueous water note, and the base note is musk. So when you smell Breathe, it's a very light and bright fragrance, which is perfect for the spring summer season. Olivia described it as when you walk in a forest after it had just rained, and that is precisely the feeling I get. And this is so beautiful because since we moved to Newcastle, we've been taking our son out for walks every single day, almost every day, depending on the weather. And we've been quite lucky with the weather this winter. And the walks are my favorite part of the day, and this bottle just encapsulates that feeling of happiness, of outdoors, of breathing in the fresh air. And I'm so happy that, you know, this is in my collection right now, because like I said, I'm entering this clean girl kind of a phase where I'm attracted to fragrances which are done in a light way. But I have to say, the longevity for something that is more of a cologne composition is incredible in this one. I can still smell it on my clothes for hours. On the skin though, it lasts maybe around 6 hours for me, but it has a very beautiful scent bubble. I keep getting whiffs of it throughout the day, and I so enjoy it. After the event, I could not help myself, but I had to buy Bake. As you can see, I haven't even opened it, so I'm going to unbox it right now with you guys. So that is my bottle of Bake. I just had to have this. Bake is a beautiful citrusy lemony gourmand, and if anyone can do gourmand, it is Olivier Cresp. He opened the doors for all the gourmand family by creating Angel by Mugler. So Bake is in fact a beautiful memory that he had captured in a bottle. So he said that they were holidaying with, you know, him and his family, and they had a beautiful lemon cupcake at Magnolia, and Olivier's daughter Anais, who together with Olivier founded AKRO, she said, "Dad, can you put it in a bottle?" And this is literally how he did it. Now what I love about this gourmand is this is what I would call like a spring summer gourmand. It is not dense and heavy. It is done in such a light and fluffy way. Bake has a very realistic lemon note on the top. It feels like almost like a limoncello or a sugared lemon peel, and it dries down to a beautiful warm vanilla. And what I love about Bake is that it's done in such a simple manner. AKRO usually does that. They use very short or simple formula. According to Olivier, this is what he said during the workshop as well, that he likes to use very short or simple formula. He likes the fragrances to deliver what it is trying to say, and Bake as a lemon cupcake is exactly that. But like I said, it is done in such a beautiful and bright manner that I can wear it even during summer. For the next event, we met David Benedek of Boutique Parfum, and we received this gorgeous discovery set with all their bestsellers. We have Pas ce Soir, Gris Charnel, Gris Charnel Extrait, Rouge Smoking Extrait. I actually really like the Rouge Smoking Extrait as well. And we have Crème de Cuir and Tuberose Imperial. I won't be going through all of this, but let me know if you want to see a separate video going through each and every one of them together, because it's just a lot of fragrances to go through, and I feel like, you know, that's gonna be too long. The next event was with Alberto Morias, and we spoke about Mizensir, and I ended up buying the famous Très, Chère from Mizensir, which I haven't opened yet. They also gave this beautiful sample set after the workshop, and again, like BDK, if you want me to go through it in a separate video, let me know in the comments. We have this set of beautiful fragrances. We have Ambre Magique, which I actually really liked. We have For Your Love, Très, Chère, which I have, and Perfect Oud and Golden Oud. So this I bought Très, Chère, and they gave an 8 ml of For Your Love as well. Let's open it. This is Très, Chère from Mizensir. So before I bought this, I was contemplating whether I should get Très, Chère or Perfect Oud from Mizensir, because Alberto Morias, you know, he has been credited for popularizing the fresh kind of fragrances with CK1 and Acqua di Gio, but he has also been credited, depending on where you read and who you ask, for popularizing oud in French perfumery as well, because he worked on M7 by YSL back in the day when Tom Ford was at the helm of the brand. Of course, we all know that Pierre Montal is famous for bringing oud into the French perfumery, and he uses oud a lot in his fragrances and generally popularizing, but depending on where you read and who you ask, M7 seems to be the first popular oud fragrance. So I feel like with Alberto Morias creations, you can either go the fresh way or the oud way. So I was contemplating between Perfect Oud and Très, Chère, but I ended up choosing Très, Chère. This is a very beautiful, light, fluffy vanilla. This almost smells like very angelic, very soft, very innocent. Performance wise, it's not the best, I have to say. I got a sample and I've been wearing that at home, and it just disappears very soon. Très, Chère opens up with this beautiful white floral note of orange blossom and jasmine, and it obviously has a beautiful vanilla and sandalwood dry down. But what's really interesting is that there is this aquatic sea salt kind of note that cuts through the sweetness of the vanilla and the indolicness of the white florals, which makes Très quite unique. But like I said, the performance is not the best, so if you don't mind reapplying your fragrances, then this is an amazing fragrance to have in your collection. And finally, I want to touch upon this fragrance called For Your Love by Mizensir. Alberto said that his wife complained that he doesn't make any fragrances for her, which is why he created this for her. And this has a beautiful raspberry note and also a very lovely musky note, which I believe, according to their website, they use something called exaltone, which has a very human skin-like scent. So the whole idea behind For Your Love is to replicate a passionate kiss. So the raspberry gives a slightly fruity note to replicate the makeup or the lipstick a woman wears, and the muskiness of the exaltone replicates the skin scent of your loved one. I saw that many people were comparing it to Baccarat Rouge, and I'm not a big fan of that DNA, so that's why I chose not to pick up a full bottle of this. But I'm so glad I got this 8 ml so that I can test it out and see if it's actually similar or different. That's my fragrance haul from the fragrance week. I am so happy to have all these new fragrances in my collection so I can just enjoy them in the coming months. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.